Holy smokes, it is no joke. XRP holders Tom Lee has stunned everyone once more with comments that might imply significant profits. Furthermore, we have just 2 more days till a significant XRP event. What does that imply for XRP, and how might it influence XRP? And a huge whale just opened a big, enormous long. We'll discuss it also. All I want for music is a lovely grin to spread those nice, positive vibes. Smishity bash the like button, since likes are for free. Let's get into it. XRP is now at $2.32. XRP is down 2.29%. I would say XRP is in pace with the rest of the crypto market, nearly 0.81% lower overall. Ethereum down 2.63 as well. XRP is consistent with the rest of the crypto market as seen above. Polygon, Pepe, Eshib, and Sol are all down 1 or 2%. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we are oversold there and have a crossover on the 1348 EMA. It will therefore be fascinating to see whether XRP can leap off the trend line here. We also have the support level here for XRP at $2.26. Therefore, if XRP can rebound off of this, perhaps this crossover here, I believe it would be a bullish indication in the near term, and we will observe how that develops. At the $1.03 mark, Bitcoin is still holding very, very strongly here. I believe Bitcoin has been more or less closed in this $1.03 region for 9 days straight. It will be fascinating to see whether people begin, sell in May and go away as we go over this weekend into next week and start hitting the May. Will we observe some activity like that or the opposite and really observe some bullish movement? Once more, not financial advice. Always conduct your own due diligence before making an investment decision. Day to day, week to week, I have no idea what the market will do. I can forecast what would happen if, ABC occurs, and what will happen if DEF will happen. But to state what happens day to day, you don't know. The news is unknown to us. Trump's actions are unknown to us. We have no idea what Moody's going to do or all other related matters. That's why I will never advise you to hold, sell, or buy. Remember, too, that I will never reach out to you on social media requesting you to sign up to anything or to transfer me any money. Those are frauds. Be really cautious out there, please. So if we go back and we take a look, we can see that someone just opened a 276 million long position on Bitcoin. Does he know anything? Isn't it? By the way, he also did a long on XRP, 20 times long, for $34 million. Therefore, this is a major confidence, and on Pepe, Pepe. This will therefore be rather fascinating to observe. You can tell it's down a little on XRP, but the other two are rising. On that, it is 43 million. This is a large, large whale. Does he know something? And we'll see whether there'll be a breakout for XRP here. Of course, in the following few days, on Monday, we have officially opened XRP futures on CME Group. We discussed this once more a few days ago. I simply wanted to bring this up again. It does not imply up or down. This merely indicates, in my opinion, further volatility for XRP going forward. Some may consider this positive, some may consider this negative, but I want you to realize why possibly we're going to see greater volatility coming out of the weekend for XRP, or maybe we'll see manipulation happening for XRP because of gaps that are opening up because of this no trading on over the weekend, where XRP itself is trading on the weekend. As usual, therefore, it is quite crucial to keep in mind. And before we go on, I would to remind you of our partner, BTCC. Should you wish to use a leverage trade, they will let you to do so. The market can be longed by you. The market can be shorted. The good thing is they have a demo. You can begin with a sample using phony money. If you like it and are successful, you can switch to actual money. Alternatively, if you are familiar with using leverage, you may proceed directly to actual cash. But for heaven's sake, trade sensibly. I've gained a lot of money, 1,000x positions, but I've also lost a lot of money, liquidated stop loss. So kindly trade sensibly then. Though BTCC has been for 13 years, we have witnessed exchanges shut down. Exchanges have gone bankrupt. Therefore, read that user agreement. Understand, for example, what leverage is and what you are entering. Understood? Let's discuss now what Tom Lee just said, what we can learn from it, what can happen with the market, what the market condition is at the moment, and how that might influence XRP and the cryptocurrency market. Let's listen to what they have to say. Let's ensure all is well. Understood? Guest contends that the risk-reward is far better now than even before the trade conflict began. Tom Lee of Fundstrat, a CNBC contributor, is with us now from Miami. As always, it's nice to see you. But how is that possible? How is the risk-reward better now than then? Scott, I believe we have to remember a lot of uncertainties in front of us when we return to February, when the market was at all-time highs. We weren't really thinking at 2026. The tariff visibility is far better today than it was 3 months ago. Looking at 2026, I believe there are items to look forward to include deregulation, tax reductions, and really a Fed that's on hold now, but maybe undertaking additional cuts now in 2026. From a corporate standpoint, then, I believe businesses endured a black swan occurrence. You know, that waterfall drop in stocks and the kind of near heart attack of the economy still allowed was an atmosphere where businesses generated profits that beyond expectations. Well, therefore, this is fascinating then. What is he saying? He's saying, hello, hey everyone. We didn't know what would happen in February. We knew tariffs were coming. We knew, and that's why we observed, by the way, some insane days here, even before the stock market began to pull down, if you go back and look. Now, we have a lot more information, but if you recall the February, when the crypto market went crazy, we observed these huge sell-offs, and naturally, the stock market had sell-offs as well. We know a great deal more. The markets often forecast 6 months into the future if you consider what they do and how they forecast events. So if they believe, we're going to have a fantastic situation in 6 months, most certainly large money is going to be coming into the market. Uncertainty leads us to typically consolidate. A lot of dread usually leads us to sell off a little. For the stock market and the crypto market, we now have far more clarity than we had back in February when we were reaching all-time highs. And naturally, Bitcoin reached an all-time high. XRP, you could argue it's up for discussion whether it had an all-time high or not. There's the all-time high you see in many places we've discussed was on a Korean exchange, and there was the exchange rate between the Korean won and the dollar. Let's set that aside for a moment. Let's call it the local high. It will be fascinating to see. Let us keep watching what he is saying. Thus, this is the 5th stress test for companies. I mean, when I combine everything, I believe PE is probably going to be higher in 6 months than lower. And considering 2026 profits with potential, I believe equities still have some upside as well. Well, I mean, given your ongoing discussion about 26, you're not ignoring the remainder of this year. There are still 7 months left. Of course, between now and year-end, we have much history to create. Remember, too, the cascade drop in stocks was nearly a whole reset in mood and positioning. You know, when the VIX reached 60, investors had no choice but to liquidate. Many organizations we know did not re-add risk back as the market rose. I believe the pullbacks will be somewhat minor since current investor underinvestment drives them. When you consider mood, though, it's hardly turning neutral anymore. Therefore, if investors have been battling this rally as they grow more neutral or more hopeful, that would be good for equities. Well, Professor Well, he says something intriguing, and you could also apply this for cryptocurrency. Given what we've observed, it's more of a situation for stocks. Apparently, retail was purchasing. The institutions were the ones selling big time. The hedge funds on the stock market. Isn't that so? Now you have a scenario where they either double down and short the market significantly, which might happen, correct? The declines that happen now might not be as aggressive